Look what we just found over in Istanbul, Turkey. Entrances to underground tunnels, entrances to the old world. We're told that this is the remains of the Great Palace of Constantinople. What we see today, the tunnel entrances, the brickwork, this represents the substructure of the Great Palace of Constantinople. They're telling us that this is the foundation, what was underneath the actual structure. Something was on top of this, saying that it once supported the extensive palace complex above, stretching all the way from the Hagia Sophia, which we just covered, all the way to the shoreline of the Sea of Marmara. I believe this was destroyed by the finders in the 18 and early 1900s. I believe that this structure, this massive palace structure, might have ruined the mainstream story hour if we were all able to see it today. I think that it would have been the #1 most incredible structure in the entire world. Right here in Istanbul, Turkey, we are all told that it just gradually fell out of use and into ruins over the centuries. This is a massive lie. This isn't a little building that we're talking about. The Great Palace of Constantinople covered an estimated which is roughly 2.1 million square feet. 2.1 million. This is more than 35 NFL football fields combined. And like we said, that's just what was on top of the ground. We already know that a massive network of tunnels, rooms, and the rest are all below the ground. This was not constructed by horses and wagons. This is undeniable proof that there was a civilization here far more advanced than what we're being told. And this proves that evolution is not taking place. Something happened. Technology was lost without a doubt. Again and again, we see the exact same thing. Where our timeline, the finders, begin in the 18 and early 1900s. We never see the excavations taking place in the 1400s, where the initial excavations were carried out between 1921 and 1923. Again, and a much larger excavation took place in 1935 to 1938. And there's no mention of what they found or what they took. There's no mention of what was destroyed. Even to this day, less than a quarter of all of the total area covered by the palace has been excavated because it's underneath all of the buildings. And there it is. Confirmation 100% that we've been correct all along for years now. We're mapping out what's below our feet. We're not speculating anymore. We are proving that the land that we walk on is on top of the old world underground palaces, underground tunnels, their chambers, and the rest. And what is the Sultan Ahmed Mosque? Because we already know that it sits on top of the old world foundation. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. We have a massive old world palace that looks exactly like the Hagia Sophia, where they're literally sitting right next door to each other. They sit 500 feet apart, a 2 to 3 minute walk door to door. They face each other. If you stand in the square, you can see both domes aligned perfectly, all on top of the old world foundation. A foundation that we were told held a 2,100,000 square foot massive palace. So you have to ask, because these structures look so similar, do you believe that these are actually the remains of the overall structure? Are these just little sections of a massive palace that looked like this throughout this entire 2.1 million square foot land layout? Do you believe that this was all just destroyed over the centuries, like we're being told? Or do you think that somebody came in here and tore it all apart? This is unbelievable. Istanbul, Turkey, I believe, is just the first floor of a massive old world palace. And what's in this city completely blew my mind. And I cannot wait to show you. We're just getting started today. Welcome to episode 144 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, David and Sherry Ferguson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Edwin Rice, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glasscock, PKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Robert Zozolins, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Jason Hochberg, Marie C., Michael Dingu, Patriot Armory, C3SCOB, SoniaDane.com, James Alt, Jason Press, Suki Warrior, Migs, Mark Chapman, Muji and Declan, Ariana Oates, Nathan Burba, Ski, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, EvelynMcGregor.com, Emily Maryland, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Ellie Annie, Seth Craigo, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Blake, William Richard Jeffries V, Dax Bill Check and Son, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalacro, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, GOL, Doc Halo, Kenneth Putt, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Rod Wah, Sweetest of Peas, Corbin Mechanical, Buck, VKH Bonner, Breaking Bigfoot, Road Warrior, Bruce Latour, Codrenth, David and Irene, Ivan Apoctoli, Ardra Rogers, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Ivan Apoctoli, Maybell, When He Set a Compass Upon the Face of the Depth, Laurel L. Burnett, Hoppy John, D. Woods, John and Carlo, Bill, Vince Moreno, Flat Earth Herbs, The Lady Lacey Show, Sven Eric, Tom O'Hara, Ducks MDF TFE, A. Aaron 87, Danya Lucas, Jeremy and Amy, Annika Joyce, The Arnolds, Henry's Mom, Gabriel Spark, Ed S., D. Hamur, Harvey, Brittany Hill, Bradford's Donkey Wagon Deluxe, Ernieho, Brian Whitaker, Trevor Cashin, David Torres, Lucy, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a little. We all saw the Hagia Sophia. We also know about the Sultan Ahmed Mosque. It's right next door, 500 feet away, or now they call it the Blue Mosque. They're both facing each other and in direct alignment. And you're not gonna believe it, but yes, there is a third one. This supposed mosque, just under 1 mile away from the Hagia Sophia. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I don't believe for a second that these are actually mosques. I believe these were a part of the overall massive structure. They looked exactly like this. 3 massive domes rising, almost like they're all a part of one master plan, just like we're told. I believe that they're the old world's work. They are what remains of the overall structure. The 2.1 million square foot palace that was destroyed before we all got here. But I bet you anything that its basement is alive and well, and I guarantee it. And I bet you that they found incredible things in there in the 1900s. These structures are all connected. They tell us this. And they're connected because they are the exact same structure. This is one massive palace. There's no doubt about it. Because not only are there these 3, but there is, of course, a 4th one, where these massive columns on this one have been broken off. But it's the same exact structure as the other ones. In my opinion, they're not mosques. They might be using them as mosques right now, but this was not their original purpose. These people are driving their cars on what was an old world palace. I don't think anybody even realizes it. And before we go further, we have to ask the question and take this research even further. When we find multiple old world structures that look so similar to each other in other cities, were all of these structures that look so similar, were they all just one massive structure? And this is why they're all connected underground. Is this the explanation for the tunnel connections? A 2.1 million square foot palace is what we were told. How big were these palaces actually? Were they so much bigger than we could ever imagine and ever thought before? This research is incredible the further that we go. So how far away was this fourth structure from the Hagia Sophia? Just 1.2 miles. These are all right next to each other. It's all on top of this exact same foundation in Istanbul, Turkey, a city that does not belong in our timeline. So let's shock the world right now and rip the mainstream narrative apart yet again. They tell us that the Hagia Sophia was constructed in the year 537. Remember, they told us that this is the third one on the exact same site, which is ridiculous. And then they wait 1,000 years to build the other three structures. And the first one only took them 4 years to build the entire thing. Are you joking? The second one took them 7 years. In the 1500s by Donkeys Incorporated, an incredible group of builders. They ride the heck out of those donkeys during the night. They saddle up and get the stone to the site perfectly. Every single time, there was never a mistake in Istanbul, Turkey, because the donkeys were fully fed. They had plenty of fresh water all along the trail. It was the booming 1500s. This is what we're told. Where today, we can't even build a box in less than 14 years in Chicago. In the 1900s, we have shipping companies, training, and the rest. The mainstream narrative is in shreds. So let's keep going. The third one was done in 7 years. All of these 1,000 years after the Hagia Sophia is what we are told. Yet all 4 of these palace structures use the exact same materials, the exact same style. They're the same building, built on top of the old world foundation, all right next to each other within walking distance, and they're all connected underground. Structurally, there is very little difference between any of them. Where is the learning curve? 1,000 years later, yet the exact same construction takes place in the same location. These dates are completely made up and exposed to the world right now. These structures were all built together by the exact same group of people, the old world. And they were powerful and they were here in every single country. And we are being lied to about these structures' construction details. The characters are all made up to hide where we are, who we are, and what we're all doing here. The buildings from the old world prove this. They proved that something happened. Technology was lost. A reset took place. A reset took place. And we all went back to riding around on horses and dirt roads. The brick, stone, and marble palaces, they all went away. And then Abe Lincoln was born in his shed. Suffering in winters, outhouses were back in style, and people had to wipe with their hands again. Our timeline just began. This batch of people. But I want to know who these people were. What other technology did they have? It's incredible to see that they were actually constructing palaces that had foundations of 2.1 million square feet. And it's not just a slab of concrete. It's brick and stone tunnels with chambers just like we showed. It has perfectly aligned columns where we're told that the public is off limits to so much of it. Why can't we see it? Well, it would completely ruin their story. They might as well just show us now because their story is already ruined. It's time to show the people what they found in the 1900s, in my opinion. It's time. Let's take a minute and thank our Donkeys Incorporated Club. These are the people that can saddle up and knock out a palace in a year. I appreciate you all and thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. Right now we're closing in on 250,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we are just getting started. I appreciate all of you, and thank you for liking the episodes as well. We are on YouTube. We are on Rumble. We're almost at 50,000 on there, and we just hit 70,000 on X. We're on TikTok, Instagram, and of course Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. Istanbul, Turkey. What an incredible location. And this is the guy that they tell us built 3 of the 4 structures that we've seen today. Where I could have just drawn this last night, guys. And for so many years, people would have believed it. And what's insane is that this is exactly what happened. In the 1700s, over 100 years after he died, supposedly, The artist that drew this, he was incredible, but he never even saw this guy. Let's show how insane this story is. I'm having a blast today. They are giving us layup after layup. Are you ready? This is the guy. He was the supposed individual pinned as the guy that constructed the Blue Mosque. One of the most famous mosques in all of Turkey, the one we showed. He was supposedly born in 1590 and died at the age of 27. Just like we showed right here. 1590, born. 1617, age 27, died, where he ruled at the age of 13 years old. This is ridiculous. And was known for constructing the Blue Mosque. He was the guy, 13 years old, ruling this country, and dies at 27. Building the Blue Mosque, a 19-year-old construction champion. And he died just 1 year after the thing was completed, which we have seen so many times. How many times have we seen that exact same story? How many times? It's all over the world. Please tell me, dying 1 year after the construction is done is the exact same AI-generated story that we have seen in so many episodes. And it's all documented. We have it recorded. So a 19-year-old with so much training. No training. He constructed this palace that looks kind of like the other ones. Exact. Done in 7 years. And then he's gone. And they're all connected underground. 4 identical domes, all within 1 mile of each other. All built with the exact same materials. The same blueprints. And they're not even built supposedly in the same millennium as each other. So zooming out, this is the land layout. These are the 4 structures that we've all been talking about that all sit right on top of this old world foundation. And they all look the same. They're all a part of the overall massive structure that was once here. And they aren't the only things located right here that don't fit into our timeline, because we, of course, just found another one. And I could just go on. And I'm gonna tell you what, I will. We're just getting started in this location. I can't believe what we found. And this is gonna go into the next episode. But these are all places that we can all go. And we can all see them for ourselves now, with open eyes and a much clearer idea of what we're actually looking at. We're all told that this 5th structure is the 2nd structure on this site. It's insane. And you begin to just shake your head, because when you zoom out, and I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, Istanbul, Turkey does not belong in our timeline at all. We've pinned the 5 structures that are identical to each other. And then we show the Topkapi Palace. And we have literally only touched the surface, because it's time to go below the ground and see what's going on in the cistern of Theodosius, right in the middle of it all. I wanna show you what's going on below Istanbul, Turkey. I wanna show that this place that we live is so much more than anybody ever realized. So much more than what we were ever taught, or what the children are being taught today. We have located a footprint that connects it all together. Again, we are just getting started.